And this is the first part of my tutorial on building good roller coasters in RCT3. To be honest, this is the first time I've ever recorded any kind of gameplay whatsoever, so bear with me. I don't know how good at this I'll be on my first try. Now, I've seen some videos on YouTube that also supposedly teach you this, but honestly, they kind of suck. I mean, all they tell you is build a coaster, then build a stage, and then build scenery, and that's it. You're done. I mean, what does that teach you? Nothing, right? I mean, it didn't teach me anything, so I decided to create my own video on the subject that truly teaches you how to make a good roller coaster. Also, I apologize if I stutter at all because I tend to do that when I speak, and as much as I hate it, I can't really help it, so I apologize if that happens. And sometimes I do it without realizing too, so yeah. It's kind of embarrassing, I'll admit, but I try my best not to do it. And sometimes I try not to do it on purpose. And that doesn't work out so well either, so just have to deal with it. Anyway, before we get started, if you have not looked at the tutorial that the game has on building a custom roller coaster, I recommend you take a look at that now before doing this video, because it teaches you the bare basics of it, and this video is going to is basically you can consider this video as the next step after that tutorial. To find that tutorial, click play, and then go to tutorial mode, and then RCT3, and it's right here. Now we're going to go to Tools and Coaster Designer. And wait for this to load. La-di-da-di-da. Oh, and sorry if I make noises in the background. I can never stay still. Initializing park. Okay, now let's get started. Now there are tons of coasters here that we can work with, but for this tutorial we're going to use the wooden coaster. And let's zoom in. Now, I chose the wooden coaster because, for one thing, it's the same coaster that the game's tutorial uses, and I like that because it's a simple and easy coaster to work with, and it's not really that hard to build a good a design with it. See, there I go stuttering again. I hate that. Anyway, now obviously the first thing we gotta do is build the station, and I'm gonna raise it for this design. And to do that, we hold the shift key and move the mouse upward or down, whichever way you want to go. But if we're gonna raise it, obviously we want to go up. That'll do. Now, obviously you want to place several station pieces so you got enough space for a train. That's what the coaster is called, a train, obviously. And most kinds of coasters have a lift hill and then a big drop at the beginning. And there are all kinds of ways you can do this too. There are a few types that don't actually use the chain. They're air-powered coasters and stuff like that. But obviously, since this is the wooden coaster, we will be using the chain, and we are going to do that now. Now, as for how we are going to build our hill, well, my personal favorite coaster in real life, the Racer, which is located in Kennywood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, has a pretty interesting way of doing the lift hill because it is a racer coaster. Now obviously this wooden coaster here in the game isn't a racer, but we can still use a similar design for the lift hill that the Racer has. Now to do that, we will start with a slope here, a gentle slope, and then a turn 2 turns. And then we end it over here. And then we begin the lift hill for real. Gonna zoom out a little so we can see it. Another reason that a wooden coaster is pretty easy to do is that typically they aren't as high as most metal coasters. Like, say, the Phantom's Revenge, also in Kennywood. It is a lot higher than, say, the Jackrabbit or the Racer, and even the Thunderbolt, which are the wooden coasters of the park. So we're not going to make this one as high as one of those really big metal coasters and stuff like that. Now, the way the Racer finishes the lift hill is at the top, it turns again, like this, and then, whoops, didn't mean to do that. And then it starts the drop. Oops, I am not used to having the window. I'm used to playing this game in full screen, but I made it smaller so I could record this. Anyway. Oh wait, I don't want the ground to have to... I don't want to change the terrain at all. This is going to be simple, so let's fix that. There we go. Now we will go back to constructing this coaster. Now to go back to the construction, you click the construction button right here. I would have liked to go straight to the ground, but apparently I can't without having to change the terrain, so we'll just leave it like this. Anyway, now we're gonna add some spice to the design, make it look snazzy and stuff. Now, the most important thing you need to know about making a design that actually works, whether it looks nice or not, is roller coaster physics. See, like in real life, physics also applies here in the game. And a general rule of thumb is that you cannot make, if you make multiple hills in a row, you cannot make one hill higher than the one that came before that, or else the train is not going to make it up at the top because it won't have enough speed from the previous drop. I'll show you what I mean. See, this is higher. Now let's test. It's not going to work because the hill is too high. Huh? Oh, wait. Sorry, never mind. No, it didn't even get down the first hill. See, you can't make the turns too wide either. I forgot to mention that as well. Man, it's been too long since I last played this game. this should work. But watch, it's not going to make it up this hill because it's too high. See? So we're gonna, let's see, I'm trying to think here, sorry, what to do. Now here we are going to make a banked curve. If you make the curve a regular turn, then it's going to put too much pressure on the peeps. I mean, you don't want to have to ride a coaster like that in real life, so we're not going to do that here. We're going to bank the curve and lower the pressure on the riders. And then add a turn. Whoops. And then straighten out. And come out of the banked curve. And then add another drop. Whoops. And this is the beginning of our design. We'll stop here for now, and we'll continue with part 2 another time. This is Eternal Bond signing off.